The chamber of the royal citadel shimmered with soft blue light as the alien queen entered, her long mantle trailing behind her. She carried herself with the calm authority of a ruler who feared nothing. The guards on both sides bowed the moment. She stepped forward, but the princess who waited at the center of the room did not bow. She stood firm, shoulders upright, a sign that she had something to prove. The queen noticed the quiet confidence in her daughter and raised an eyebrow. Many warriors, scholars, and envoys had come through this chamber, but none had caused the princess to stand in such a defiant stance. What caught the queen off guard was not the princess herself, but the figure who stood a short distance behind her. A human, not a decorated soldier, not a known diplomat, not even a trained guardian from any galactic defense division. Just a human with simple armor, a steady posture, and an expression that showed no fear of the mighty court. The queen circled slowly, examining him. She did not speak right away, letting the silence settle like a mist over the chamber. The princess watched her mother's reaction closely, waiting for the question she knew would come. The queen finally stopped walking and stood in front of her daughter. "Who guards you so boldly?" she asked. The princess did not hesitate. She lifted her hand and pointed at him. "My human." The chamber rippled with quiet surprise. Several advisors exchanged nervous glances. Some guards stiffened. The queen, however, did not react with anger or shock. Instead, she gave the human a long, unreadable look. This was not the answer she expected. The royal family had access to elite protectors chosen from across their empire. Their warriors were tall, swift, and enhanced with generations of selective crafting. Yet the princess pointed to the most unlikely protector in the room. The queen studied him again. His armor was patched. His stance was not flawless. His weapons were simple, as if meant more for survival than glory. Humans had a reputation for being unpredictable, resilient, and fiercely loyal, but they were not known for being the most powerful species in the galaxy. Still, this human stood calm under her scrutiny. He did not lower his gaze, nor did he step forward. He remained steady, waiting for whatever judgment might come. The queen turned back to the princess. "Explain." The princess took a slow breath. She had rehearsed this conversation many times, knowing her mother would question her choice. She had traveled across distant sectors, met brilliant minds, and observed warriors from countless worlds. She had seen soldiers who could lift heavy shields as if they weighed nothing. She had seen fighters whose reflexes were sharpened through generations of training. She had even seen creatures who survived in vacuum for short periods. Yet none of them gave her what the human gave her. The princess began her explanation. "He does not serve me out of fear or duty. He stands with me because he chooses to." The queen looked at the human again, perhaps expecting him to protest or show humility, but he remained silent. She approached him and lifted a hand, motioning for him to step closer. He obeyed with a steady stride. When the queen studied him up close, she realized something. His eyes held a quiet fire. Not rage, not arrogance, something older. Something rooted in the human history of survival. Something that said he would stand his ground no matter who questioned him. "What is your name?" the queen asked. "Darren," he answered in a calm voice. A simple name, a simple tone. But the chamber shifted again, as if everyone felt the weight of his certainty. The queen lifted her chin slightly. "And why do you?" "Guard my daughter?" Darren looked at the princess for a brief moment, and then back to the queen. "Because she deserves someone who will stand with her, not behind her." The room fell silent again. Not even the hum of the crystalline walls could be heard. The princess felt a quiet warmth rise within her. She had heard his answer before, in far less formal settings. But hearing him say it here, in front of the queen and the entire court, held a different weight. The queen took a slow breath. "You speak boldly." "I speak honestly, Darren answered. The queen returned to her throne and sat down, her expression thoughtful now. A human guardian. This is unusual. The princess stepped forward. He has saved my life 3 times. Not because he was ordered to. Not because he expected a reward. He did it because he could not stand aside while danger approached. The queen frowned slightly, her tone sharpening. 3 times. Then tell me every moment. The princess recounted them. The first happened on a barren moon during a diplomatic journey. An unexpected ground collapse had split the terrain, forming sudden deep fractures. She would have fallen if Darren had not grabbed her arm and dragged her back with all his strength. Others had equipment. Others had protocols. But only he had reacted in time. The second was on a remote station, attacked by raiders. While the guard force scattered to form a perimeter, a stray blast struck a support beam. It began to fall straight toward the princess. Darren leaped without hesitation, pushing her clear and taking the impact across his armor. The armor cracked, but he still stood. The third happened during a malfunction in the atmospheric control of a shuttle. The princess had been trapped inside a section filling with heated vapor. The emergency release would not respond. Darren had forced the door open with his bare hands, burning them in the process. He did not stop until she was free. The queen listened to each story with a slow, unbroken stare. When the princess finished, the queen turned back to Darren. You risked yourself without knowing whether anyone would return the favor. Why? Because she matters, Darren said. A simple answer, but it held a depth the queen could not ignore. The advisors stepped forward in protest, one after another. They argued that a human was too fragile. They argued that an empire heir required someone with enhanced reflexes or specialized training. They argued that the Galactic Council would question such a choice. The queen raised a hand. Every advisor fell silent. She turned to her daughter. You trust him with your life. I do, the princess answered. The queen turned to Darren again. And you would stand between her and any danger? I already have, he said. The queen leaned back, letting the silence stretch. It was not a test of patience, but a reflection. She thought back to the early days of her reign. She remembered the people who guarded her. Many of them had been skilled. Many had been loyal. But very few had been driven by choice rather than obligation. Finally, the queen spoke. Guarding a princess is not a simple task. It requires strength of mind and strength of heart. Many warriors possess the first. Few possess the second. Darren stood still, listening. You claim to have both. But words are empty without proof. The princess stepped forward quickly, her voice steady. He has already proven it. The queen raised a hand to silence her. He has proven his courage, but I must know his resolve. She turned to Darren. If a moment comes when you must stand alone with no support, would you still protect her? Yes, Darren answered without hesitation. If a moment comes when she is targeted not by chance, but by intention, would you still fight? Yes. If a moment comes when you face someone stronger than you, faster than you, more equipped than you, would you still stand in her defense? Yes. His answers were not loud, but they carried across the chamber with the clarity of an oath. The queen sat motionless for several long seconds before rising from her throne. She walked toward him and stopped at arm's length. Humans are unpredictable. They break easily, yet when faced with hardship, they refuse to fall. I have seen only a few who stand firm under pressure without losing their sense of self. Darren did not respond. The queen looked at the princess. You chose him. The princess nodded. Then I will honor that choice. The queen stepped back, but I must see him tested. The princess felt her heart tighten. What kind of test? She asked. A test not of strength. A test of clarity. A test to reveal whether his resolve is shaped by impulse or by understanding. She looked back at Darren. You will travel with the princess to the outer sector. A research colony sent a distress signal 2 days ago. No response has been received since. The region is quiet, but unpredictable. If you protect her there as you claim, then your place at her side will be recognized. Terran nodded. I accept. The princess stepped closer to him. You do not have to agree so quickly. Terran gave her a small, calm look. It is not a burden to protect someone you care about. The queen noticed the subtle exchange and spoke again. You will leave at dawn. Prepare well. Trust will not be granted twice. The princess bowed. Terran nodded respectfully. When they walked out of the chamber side by side, many guards and advisors stared with uncertainty, but none challenged them. Outside, the sky glowed with twin suns crossing paths. The city hummed quietly, unaware of the decision that had just been made inside the Citadel dot. As they moved toward the docking platform, the princess looked at Terran. You knew she would test you. Yes, and you are not afraid. I am human, he said with a faint smile. She shook her head slightly. That is not a reason. It is the only one I need. The princess gazed forward, her steps slow but determined. You know she will expect much from you. And you deserve someone who can give much, he said. The princess felt warmth rise in her chest, but she kept her stride steady. When they reached the shuttle, she paused before boarding. You did not have to step forward when she questioned you. Yes, I did. Why? Because I guard you, not from duty, from choice.